telling you that you should. That takes bigger balls than anything I've ever done in the ring. Am I still wild? Yeah. A little unhinged? Sure. But now I'm also unstoppable. The ballsy badass isn't just back. She has evolved. And this time, nothing, and I mean nothing, can shake me.
All right, guys, we're going to talk about 3 different women that were recently released from WWE. They're all going to speak on their time with WWE and the first time after being released, in Blair Davenport, Shotzi, and Jakara Jackson. Let's check out more at the Pink Square Circle. Hey guys, we're here at the Pink Square Circle. We'll talk about former WWE women talent, speak on their release, and we got the women that's going to finally break their silence. Let's get the lights as we come into the Pink Square Circle. Now, in the past, we know about the past week or so that we had a lot of women that were released from WWE. Now women are starting to speak on after being released. But we got 3 examples of women that do speak on after being released. We'll hear their reasons. We'll hear storylines that they were supposed to be involved in that got nixed before they were released. And we're going to talk about the professionalism of some of these women as well. Now, first, we'll talk about Shotzi. She did an interview with Busted Open. Secondly, we'll do Blair Davenport, who did an interview with Comfortaholic Wrestling, credit from Fightful Select. Then also, lastly, we'll talk about Jakara Jackson, who has her own YouTube channel under her real name, Jakara, I think it's Jamara Sade, if I said that right, Jamara Sade. Well, all 3 of these women are going to speak, and we're first going to talk about Shotzi on Busted Open Radio.
Get on NXT too, because I've always wanted to be that superstar that was on Raw and SmackDown and on all the live events and on NXT and like helping the generation come up. And I really felt like I was like on the cusp of being that. And then the injury comes. And like, when you get an injury, your mind goes into so many different places. Like, is there going to be anything for me when I come back? But you're hopeful that when you sacrifice a limb for a company, you're going to come back and they're going to reward you for fighting through all of that. So I get cleared like December 5th. And at that time, I'm like thinking, okay, well, it's December. I'm probably not going to come back until Rumble, which was like 2 months away. And I could not for the life of me sit at home any longer. So I text Russo and I was like, hey, I'm probably not going to come back to the main roster for a little bit. Can I get a little run at NXT, find my ring legs back? And he was like, absolutely. We can only have you for 2 months and then main roster wants you back. And I was like, great, that's perfect. Give me a little run. Put me with these girls. Like I want to build up Gigi and Tatum. I really believe in them. And I thought we were killing it. I thought we were super hot. And then I fell in love with them. Like I was like, oh my God, can we go to the main roster together? Because I have fallen in love with these girls. And then I was told like, oh, you're going to start a storyline with Chelsea, which I was all for. Chelsea is super great. And they bring me into SmackDown. They're like rehearsing my entrance on the Tron, and then they cut it. And then it was like week after week, nothing and nothing. And then I start, to wonder like, oh man, my contract's up in a few months. Like, what is going on? And nobody had answers for me. And that's like finally when I was like, well, I'm going to cut this promo and I'm going to get some answers by cutting this promo.
You said it's freeing. Like, I think that's what it is, because you get so frustrated sometimes at the end and you're just like, I'm an adult. Tell me what's going on. If you don't have something, tell me.
Yeah.
But instead it's like dangle the carrot and dangle the carrot and dangle the carrot, and it can become very mentally defeating, like you said. Like, so it's like, all right, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna do this promo, and if it works out, awesome. If it doesn't, I'm free and I get to do whatever I want anyway. And so it comes to that point, you can only be pushed so far into just being stagnant. And like,
Yeah.
I know it's frustrating, but it's allowed you now to take something that would devastate a lot of people. Obviously, it's a bummer. No one wants to lose their job or anything, but you've taken that and you turn it into a positive. And you go, you know what? Like, one, I'll show them that they screwed up and that I'm worth more than that. And two, I'm also going to fulfill my needs of being creative and being on my own terms and letting loose. So it's cool and it's refreshing because not everybody feels that way. There's a lot of people that are bitter and angry, and there are things to be bitter and angry about, but you're not letting them control you. You're using it as a positive to kind of fuel this next.
Have you ever lost so much that you start to wonder if you're even real anymore? I call myself the ballsy badass because I was wild, reckless, chaotic, lived for the danger, loved every second of it. That confidence and fearlessness, it was intoxicating. It's why I loved being in the ring so much, but it felt like in the blink of an eye, that feeling was gone. I lost people who meant everything to me, and I let that grief consume me. I let injuries make me feel worthless, and somewhere along the way, I lost myself. I wish I could stand here and tell you that I walked through the fire and rose from the ashes like a damn phoenix, but you know what? That's not my story. I struggled a lot. I fought through years of darkness. But you know what? Here's where I'm gonna give myself some credit, because through all of that, every dark thought, every injury, every crippling criticism, I never quit. I never asked for time off. Even when I was down to just a sliver of who I used to be, I held on. I held on hoping that that same carefree, ballsy badass would come back. But you know what? I realized something. As I was rebuilding myself, I realized that that ballsy badass, she's gone. She's gone and she's never coming back. But you know what? That's okay. Because I redefined what it means to be the ballsy badass. It's not just about being reckless or having brutal matches. It's about having the guts to face your demons. It's about standing tall even when you feel like you've got nothing left. It's about refusing to break even when the world is telling you that you should. That takes bigger balls than anything I've ever done in the ring. Am I still wild? Yeah. A little unhinged? Sure. But now I'm also unstoppable. The ballsy badass isn't just back. She has evolved. And this time, nothing, and I mean nothing, can shake me.
All right, that was Shotzi on Busted Open Radio and the promo she did on her X account. leading to asking what's questions going on with her, what's going on with her contract not being renewed. Now, she wasn't released, her contract was not renewed, but I would say Shotzi, she seemed very frustrated, her interview. But let's hear what Blair Davenport said with Cultaholic Wrestling here.
They probably decided that, but yeah, like I said, it's like I had an appearance request put in an hour or so before I got let go.
I guess it's just maybe a case like just the departments again not connected. So
yeah.
I presume, do you still make that? I guess because you're still within the company, so you still make that appearance.
No. As soon as I'm let go, I think probably about maybe an hour or so after I got released, I was locked out of my app.
Right.
So they deleted my login for it and everything, which was I was just like, okay, cool, I can delete that off my phone now. I'm not need that anymore. So yeah.
So with that then, so once you had the news and you got this sort of 90-day period where you're sort of waiting out the last bit of that deal, what do you turn your mind to? Like what are you starting to think about at this point as you're waiting to get back out there in wrestling?
I think I just did a lot of things that I felt like I couldn't do whilst being under contract. So things like I've got a tattoo on my forearm now. I don't know if you can there we go, you can kind of see. But I asked to get an arm tattoo within the company, and this was when I was in NXT, and they basically just kind of said that, gave me this whole spiel that if I really pushed for it, I probably could have got approval for it. But it was just like, oh, well, you got to think about if we get you tattooed, then we've got to reshort your prone pitch. We're going to rescan you for the game. We're going to rescan you. It was a whole, it just seemed like a lot of hassle. So I was like, okay, it's just easier for me to not do it than to do it. So I kind of just went through his phase, like even changed my hair color. I kept blonde for so long because they kind of identified that as my look and everything, so they didn't want me to just change it. Whether, I'm sure if people remember from stardom, I had a different hair color every month at one point.
You did change it around quite a lot.
Yeah, I get bored, so it's good. I did like the blonde and stuff, but there were points where I was thinking about changing it, but then I felt like I wasn't allowed to because, they'd done all this, promoting and all these pictures. Everything was associated with mainly with how I look and stuff. So I felt like it's a strong look. People know me. If I change it, then they've got to get used to a whole other look of me. And I wasn't at a point where it was purposeful enough to be a drastic change. Like when Sasha changed her hair color, it's because she turned heel after being babyface for so long. Then she went and did the blueprint stuff. But yeah, I just felt like I never had enough behind me to then do a drastic change like that. Look, there was a little bit of confusion maybe. One of my friends is in creative, and he said to me the news leaked that I'd been released while SmackDown was still happening to the head writer. He was like, do you know they've just released Blair? And he has to go on his phone and look, and he was like, I don't know anything about this.
Joined this morning on Cultaholic Wrestling by somebody about to venture out once more into the great wide world of wrestling. Blair Davenport no more. It's B. Priestley. How you doing, B?
She's back.
How does it feel being called Priestley again?
Oh, don't. It was such like as soon as I got the call, I was like, oh, I can go back to being B again.
So you were excited about it?
Oh yeah. Do you know what? It was one of those things you don't realise how unhappy you are until you feel happy that you've got the call saying that you don't have a job anymore. So that was kind of the thing. I was like, oh, okay, maybe I just needed, maybe it was good for me for that, to be fair.
Now, I want to get into all of that, but of course, for many people may not know this. I mean, obviously, they're watching you on Twitch; they'll certainly know it. But you're Florida-based these days,
Yes.
and is there stuff from the UK that you missed that you simply can't?
Now, that was Blair Davenport on Cultaholic Wrestling. She talks about how she found out when she was released, and she talks about all her upcoming her time at NXT as well. But it seemed like Blair Davenport, she says she understands the business and everything else. But let's hear what Jakara Jackson had to say on her YouTube channel, Jamara Sade.
All been waiting for, and you're probably here because this vlog is about my release from WWE. I'm hoping that in this video you get a little bit more clarity on what my plans are after said events, and also just me wanting to express my appreciation to all my fans, and also just people who showed love during this interesting time, this chapter change. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment below. Comment like what you want to see in my next videos. I want to start utilizing my YouTube more in a sense that my fans can still see what I'm up to, and I'm still letting y'all in on my journey. I did want to start by saying I'm very, very grateful and appreciative for my time in WWE. I don't want anybody to think that, you know, just because something like this did happen, that I'm like upset. Of course, there are upsetting factors. Of course, it hurt, and I moved all the way from New Mexico across the country for this, up and left, and just gave my all for this. And it's been quite the experience. I've made so many memories. I've met so many people from around the world. So I want to say that everybody who reached out to me and showed love and support, I see you and I'm so thankful. Fans and anybody new joining the channel, you can check me out here, or I have Discord, in which I will be linking all that good stuff in the video details. I just wanted to thank my coaches, because, you know, without them I wouldn't be where I am, and I loved all the opportunities that I got, and I'm thankful for them. Do I wish that I could have shown the world what I can do on my own? Hell yes. And the way I see it, I'm still gonna get that opportunity, just in a different way, and that's totally fine, because it's not the end of the world. I want to start it off with expressing to all my fans how incredibly thankful I am for them for supporting me along my journey. And I just want to let you know as well that this is not over for me. I'm excited. I'm very much ready to put out what I want to put out. I don't want to get too crazy into details, because that's what interviews are for, so stay tuned. But like, I will just say again, I'm so damn thankful for everybody who is riding for me and supporting me. As much as y'all say that I motivate you, y'all motivate me to go hard. I've fallen in love with this art, but it's just everything that I love in one. So I feel like I'm at home here. It's crazy, but I'm not gonna sit here and say that I didn't feel a way, but I'm so heavy on my self-care and reflection, and basically what the next step is, because life isn't what happens to you, it's how you move on from it. So with that being said, your girl has plans, okay? But I do want to get into these questions, and I also want to take questions, and I also want to take a second as well to thank WWE as well. I've gotten to be in the same room as people that I like looked up to, you know what I'm saying? And also just I got to speak to the best who are in the business, you know what I'm saying? I've gotten to do things that I never thought I would do, but again, it was such an amazing experience. I can't.
Now, I would say out of all three of these women, the one who spoke the most professional and was not biased was Jakara Jackson. I love the way she did her interview on her YouTube channel. She didn't go on anybody else's channel. If you notice how all three interviews, you know, and talk bad about stuff that she didn't like or dislike. She kept it straight, honesty. And Shotzi and Blair Davenport, Shotzi talked positive too, but you could tell there was some frustration with her. I know she also posted on her X account that her last match was on WWE Speed, that's on X every Wednesday. She said, I know my next match will be longer than 3 minutes. Very unprofessional. Also, Blair Davenport, she speaks about a tattoo that she couldn't get because of the scans for a video game. It just seemed like it's a lot of complaining going on with these women that are released from WWE or contract not renewed for that matter. I understand that, that it does suck to be released and lose your dream job. No one's going to be initially happy about that, but they tell you that it's a part of business. And luckily these days, you do have other wrestling companies and promotions. Besides AEW, you have a lot of independent promotions. I hope all three of these women find what they're looking for at the end of the day, because they all plan on to do something, obviously, since they're not in WWE anymore. But other than that, though, that's all I have regarding former WWE women talent speak on their release. We're talking about women finally breaking their silence, and we're talking about Shotzi. We're talking about Blair Davenport and Jakara Jackson. You guys let me know what you think of these women. Were you fans of these women and how they speak on their time in WWE? Check out the content here at Pink Square Circle. Until then, guys, I will see you guys later.